Hi guys, so this is just a quick preface to the video. The total footage is 51 minutes long, so what I'm doing instead is I'm going to split the video into 4 or 5 parts, and they'll be out, and I'm going to schedule them to upload the day after each other. So the first video will be out today, and then the next video will be out the following day, and so on until they finish. All the videos will be available in a playlist, so they're easy to find. But yeah, I think it was just to split it up and make it more easier to watch than doing one 50-minute video, which I don't think anyone would have the attention span to watch. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and yeah, enjoy the video.
Hello, and welcome back, or welcome for the first time to my YouTube channel. Today's video is, I'm going to warn you now, it's going to be a long one. I spent more time than I wanted to yesterday writing a script for this video. I don't usually write scripts, but I think it was important to me that I said everything I wanted to say, and I think if I didn't have a script, I would have forgotten loads. So yeah, I spent probably about 5 or 6 hours writing and editing this script. It's really long, and there's a lot of points I need to get through. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. Basically, this video is a video for me summarizing my whole first semester abroad studying in South Korea. For those of you who don't know, I've been here for the past 4 months. Since the 31st of August, I've been living in Busan, South Korea, and I've been studying here as an exchange student, studying what I usually study, which is biomedical science. Though over here I'm studying just biology. So yeah, this video will be hopefully helpful for those of you who are also interested in studying abroad. I know applications back at my home University of Essex, they're closing in just over 2 weeks, and I think most other universities, they kind of study abroad applications kind of close around the end of January. So yeah, I kind of want to get this video out, and hopefully you'll find that helpful, not only if you're planning on studying abroad, not just for Korea, but maybe in general, or you're just interested in Korea and Korean culture, or you just like my lovely face and you want to support the channel. So thank you very much for watching. Just going to quickly run through the structure of this video. We're in the intro now. Then I'll first be talking about what it's like studying here at my host university of Busan National University. I will then talk about what the culture and cultural experiences I've found, and how it differs from British culture and Western culture. I will then be talking about my social life and kind of typical social life for students in Korea. Then I will talk about some of the experiences and highlights I've had, and then I'll be answering questions which I asked you guys to send me on Instagram. So yeah, some of the questions I've been asked will be answered through the different topics I'm covering, so I won't be directly answering all of your questions, because what I talk about in this video will answer those questions already. But yeah, the questions at the end will be just questions I didn't answer in the rest of the video. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of timestamps for each of the topics in the description if you want to skip around. I know this is going to be a long video, so fair enough if you don't watch all of it. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about studying. So studying is the main reason I came here. It's the legal reason I'm allowed to be here. If I wasn't here as an exchange student, I definitely wouldn't have been here for as long. So that is the reason I'm here. It might not be the reason I came to South Korea or wanted to do this year, but it's the reason I'm allowed to be here. So yeah, if that makes sense. So yeah, as you know, I study biomedical science or biology. So some of the things I talk about might not be so relevant if you take more of an arts course or humanities-based course, but hopefully it should give you an idea all the same. So to start off, the Korean education system is intense. It's very hardworking. The students, before they go into university in middle school and high school, will be used to studying all day, every day. I believe school goes on much later than it does in the UK. Like in the UK, I ended school, the school day ended around 3 p.m. Over here, I believe it ends at maybe 5 or 7 p.m. and starts just as early, around 8 or 9 a.m. And then after school, many students will go to these places called hagwons, which are like an after school class. So it's even more study until maybe 9 or even 11 p.m. So students in Korea are used to this intense work study ethic that's drilled into them since middle school age, maybe like 10 or 11, way up until they finish high school. So that work ethic is then carried forward into university, where students are still expected to do a lot of independent study. And it is similar in the UK and the West, where as a university student, you do have to do a lot of independent study and work on your own. But here it's just to the max, because you also have it's a similar system to the American system, where they have midterm exams and final exams. So the semesters are enclosed. So I have all the classes I studied, I took the exams for in the same semester, and I took midterm exams for as well. And you don't get any time in between classes and then midterms. You just have a week for midterms and a week for finals. But the week before that, I will have been in that classroom. So the time, you don't get any like weeks off, like reading weeks, or like in the UK at my university, where we have a whole term off, where it's just for exams. The summer term is just for the exams, and so you have like 3 or 4 weeks of no classes or anything, where you can just revise for those exams. That's not the case here. You're going to have to be studying while you're taking the classes and learning. So it is very intense, and it's something I really struggled with getting used to. I definitely find I have it a lot easier studying in the UK. Like also over here, you have to attend all your classes. I was taking 6 classes because that was what was required of me from my home university. And so that meant I had 4 classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I had 1 class on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. My Friday class was a double class, so I had 4, 8, 9, 10. I had 12 classes, which is about 15 or 16 hours per week, and which is a similar amount of time for a biology student in the UK due to labs. However, because back home I had maybe 14, 15-hour weeks, but 3 to 6 of those hours was lab time. Over here, I don't get lab time. It's just classes, like no lectures either. It's just classes of about 50 people in a classroom. The second challenge I had was definitely more of a Korean-based thing, and that was the language issue, because while my classes were labelled as English, I'd say only about 40% of the language spoken in class by the professor and fellow students was English. The rest of it was kind of spoken in Korean. What would happen is the PowerPoint slides were in English, but the lecturer would talk. He'd say his point in English, and then he'd say his point again in Korean, and he'd talk for a much longer time in Korean, like elaborating what he was saying in Korean, which was difficult for me because I couldn't understand what was being said, and it made it hard for me to pay attention, because if I can't understand what's being said, I don't really feel inclined to listen, and then so I'm not really listening at all, and it's hard to pay attention when he's speaking English as well, when he's mostly speaking Korean. And it's the same, and in some ways, fair enough. I mean, most of the students in the class were Korean. I think in all my biology classes, except for one, I was one of two international students. Everyone else was Korean. And yeah, that was mainly just for the biology classes. I did take some electives in Korean mythology, and I also took an art class, and they were really fun. They were 100% in English. One of the teachers was, in fact, I believe she was from the Netherlands. So yeah, and they were really interesting. I really enjoyed those. It's just me, and I think most other international students also had the same problem of struggling with subjects classes relating to their majors, except for those who are taking maybe global studies or business studies, which students who are better at speaking English and more inclined to be speaking English. Had I known that this would be the case, that the English courses was kind of half a lie, I definitely would have reconsidered studying here. I think when I decided I wanted to study in Korea, I kind of just was like, I want to study in Korea, I need to go to Korea, and then was like ignoring all of didn't really put much research into what it would be like in Korea. It was in my gut and my heart that I just wanted to go here, so I kind of just cared less about the admin and the nitty gritty on the minor details about it. But had I been told proper, like if I had done, partly it's my fault for not doing the research. It's maybe a bit of my home university's fault for not informing me or not even being informed if this was the case. And also my host university's fault for ignoring the problem, if you call it, because they don't really want their image to be affected. Because I know over here in Korea, your university looks more impressive if your classes are in English or you have English classes, because being able to speak English is quite important to Koreans, because in terms of for success, like in jobs in business roles and things like that, if you could speak English, it's very helpful. And so that might be why the university does it. I just feel like if they were honest with themselves and said, okay, there's not really Korean, and like they focus more on the teaching quality, I think less people would get hurt or in the long run. But yeah, so that's what I think. This semester has also made me really hate biology. I mean, I already knew that it's not what I want to be doing long term. But yeah, this kind of just was the nail in the coffin for me. Yeah, I'm very much done with biology as soon as I graduate, yeah. But the upside of that was that the art class and me not really paying so much attention to biology has helped me focus more on art and the things I want to be doing. So I have a better idea about what I want to be doing in the future, and I've had some opportunities to practice that as well.